Hello, greetings from Singapore.
Hi.
So I'm Jody.
I'm Lynn.
Hi, so welcome to Dharma Discussions.
Good evening.
So tonight we're going to talk about...
Oh, a very interesting topic.
Yeah, she picked that topic.
You, me, her, because I was watching a Netflix show. I thought it was quite interesting topic.
So is it you, me, her, or are you talking about third parties here?
You, me, her, or him, or someone or something that's a third party.
All right, okay, so let's talk about third parties. So the reason why we created this discussion is because we want to create a safe space.
Correct.
So we're going to hold this space for us to go and discuss things that you may not feel comfortable in sharing and talking about. And so in this space, we don't judge, just chip in,
share your thoughts, have questions, comments, anything. Please share and have discussions with us.
Yes.
Together.
And hopefully through that process, we'll be able to gain some collective wisdom, learn something out of it.
Correct. I think it has helped me learn a lot about you and a lot about us, and of course, ultimately for myself.
Likewise.
I think it helps me to grow within.
Yes.
To be a lot more open to many different perspectives and not just hold my own as the law.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this whole
Today's
third
topic,
party thing, right?
Bringing third parties into your marriage.
Yeah. So
whether knowingly or unknowingly.
Do chime in, and so that makes it interactive.
Correct. So what's a third party, by the way? A third party is someone or something who is not one of the two main primarily involved in a situation or relationship.
Okay.
People use third party, vendors, they say third party in a legal suit, but third party to us could also be someone that's coming into the marriage or something that's coming into the marriage. So it's not necessarily sexual, the third parties that we're going to talk about. It could be, but we're not going to be talking only about the sexual third parties.
So it can be just emotionally intimate. You have a close relationship with another person.
Or something.
Okay.
As long as it takes away from us. Because we both are the primary relationship. We are in this together, the both of us. But if it takes away our time, attention, affection, our intimacy, that will be considered a third party in this particular discussion.
Okay. What about if it contributes?
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay,
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that too. All right, okay, let's talk about it.
Third parties are all bad. I'm just saying the third parties.
Okay, let's have a look.
So who and what are potential third parties? I came out with a few subjects. But please chime in if you happen to know of one or think of one and I missed it out, okay? Yeah, so it's in no particular order. I just have a few that I've listed as potential third parties in the marriage.
Okay, what are they?
The first one, your children.
It is true.
Yeah, I mean, we love our kids and we have to spend a lot of time raising them, especially when they're very young. But it also starts from the very time that they're very young that they become third parties in our marriage.
Well, they are actually a third party in our marriage. And
it's always been us. Now there's another one, another two, another three.
Yes.
All third parties.
Yes. And somehow they could possibly create a bond to a specific parent. And
sometimes the father and daughter very close and the mother's left out of it, or the mother naturally being very nurturing is just attached to the kids and the whole life is just the kids. And you spend the whole day taking care of them, and at night they're also with you, sleeping in between the both parents. So these are like third parties because then you can't get as intimate as you like because
I totally can relate to that. I in my first marriage, I think that was the thing. I felt really bad about it because I felt my children, as a result of my children, I lost my wife, I lost my lover. And that resentment,
that way.
Yeah, because I ended up sleeping alone every night almost. And I had to write a love letter to someone who is not on my bed. And the reason why she's not there is because she feels more comfortable sleeping in the kids' room to attend to them.
But when they are asleep, can she just come back to the room?
So that's the thing. Is that something wrong with us in the first place, or because she felt that it's more
it's her job,
it's her duty, whatever that is.
But
it causes a strain to our relationship.
Yeah, I can totally understand and empathize as a woman. Sometimes we just grow up with this. This is my job, it's my duty. 24孝 but very good. 是叫母亲, you just want to be a really good, dutiful mother to your kids because that's the way you're supposed to be, and therefore maybe it means just being with them all day, all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also seen cases, the father, on the father's side, he grew into this bond with one of the children, and just basically everything's about that child. So the wife just simply be a support system. And completely neglected that whole bonding relationship.
It's like a father-daughter thing.
There's a father-daughter thing.
Always like that. Or mother-son thing. This is a very strong attachment. And then you get neglected and left out.
And somehow we could understand and accept that relationship and let that relationship grow until one day when the child needs to leave and it becomes an empty nest. And just left the two of us, right?
That's like each other. We forget how to be together as a couple.
We no longer are together anymore because we lost that togetherness a while ago.
Because the child was the glue.
Yes.
All our attention was on our child.
Yeah.
And when he goes off to school or marries or moved on with his life, and we're like, oh, what do we do now with each other?
Yep.
We don't know what to do with each other anymore.
Or basically, I've already lost the relationship with you because you have already attached to that children. And my job is simply, okay, from this point onward, I'm just an ATM. I let my kids provider. And then I somehow establish another relationship. That I also heard happen a lot.
True. So just be aware that your child could be a third party unconsciously. I don't think anyone purposely make their child a third party, but it just happens. And I think what I felt I did quite well was not allowing my children to sleep with me. Even if they were supposed to be in the same room, they were in their own bed or in their own cradle, baby cot in the room, and then I start to move them out of the room to their own room. So don't sleep in my room as much as possible.
Yeah. So my saying is always, I come first, and then we come next as a result before the third one. So we always remember.
So we are the primary.
We are the primary.
We come back to us.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. So if you guys have any other comments, I know we have one here that talked about potential third parties, career, in-laws, hobbies. Haha, you got 2 out of 3. I didn't think about hobbies, but I will put it in. Yeah. Okay, so another one would be maybe like a relative. I didn't want to put mother-in-law. I changed it because I felt like so targeted, mother-in-laws, but it could be father-in-law, mother-in-law could be sister, brother, but a relative who has no boundaries, they keep coming to you, they get all your space, maybe a very needy mother-in-law. I'm not saying my mother-in-law is, I'm just saying, for example, maybe because she's alone, some of them are a widow, and then you're the filial son, and all she does is just wants to attach herself to you and spend every waking moment with you. Every weekend, you go see her, or everything's very family obligated, means the couple have no time for themselves but to have a lot of family obligations. So your family or your relatives becomes a third party in the marriage because it just takes up your one-on-one time with each other. Do you guys experience that? I don't have that problem, but I've seen some who just spend all their weekends and every time they finish work, they just have to be with family.
Yeah, I think as a result,
what happened to this,
Yeah, as a result of that, this has lost. I think this needs to be maintained. Not saying that the relatives, parents are.
I love my family to come over. Every other week they come over for a meal, but we make an effort to spend time together.
Yes, I think
without
our
kids
time
and without anyone else.
Yeah. And that needs to be maintained and a primary part.
Yes, the next one could be a bit tenacious, or I don't know. We'll see.
What's that? Ooh, yes, I also see that a lot.
Let's say your religious leader could be like, your group or someone there, or people in that community who start to advise you what to do in your marriage. Like could be church group or temple, whatever the religion is. Sometimes they have all these very helpful groups which have good intention of just keeping the marriage together. But they're no experts.
A, they're no experts, and B, in a way, they're imposing their beliefs, their practices,
their own personal experience
onto
you
yeah.
or your marriage.
Then,
But how would they know? Nobody knows what you go through, and nobody knows your marriage. But then there's all these very helpful people with the best intention.
yeah.
But real experts don't tell you what to do, right?
Exactly. I find the best counselor, the best experts are those who allow us to be aware of our being, our doing, and allowing us to understand the why we do it behind
They
us.
support you, they listen, but they don't judge, and they don't kind of like insinuate or give you comments and stuff. I'm not saying not everyone is like that. I'm just saying that I see a lot of them being like this, overly helpful, giving a lot of advice with pure intention, good intention, but sometimes it's so hard because you're listening to all this advice from all these very helpful people, which sometimes is not the best.
Yeah. I think anyone
just be really mindful.
I think someone who tells you they should.
Yeah, you
anyone
should do this,
you,
you shouldn't do that, you should do this. Like the should comes out, that's a very good sign that you should not listen to that.
You just should them.
You should not
should them. It's true. But I've also come across people who uses the name of the authority, the power, right?
Whoever,
it can be the Almighty, it can be the God, it can be authority to feed their egos and then use that upon you. I've seen a lot of that too.
Either way, just be mindful as well. When you have issues in your marriage, who do you listen to and speak to? I feel.
I think so. Yeah.
This one can be
for me, it's anyone who try to shoot me. That's the big red flag.
Not S-O-O. That's S-H-O-O-T. It's S-H-O-U-L-D.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to clarify. Yep. Next, a needy friend. You are one of those needy friends who will be going through a breakup or going through a business problem, but they're just so needy all the time, and they just takes all your attention. Like maybe calling me or what. Then I'm all night talking to her or him, and I don't spend time with you because I'm just so busy.
Yeah, but at the same time, wouldn't you want to be a supportive friend either? Someone who is, it's not like 24/7 every single day. Maybe the friend who's just simply going through something.
I think that's fine because we all go through shit and we need support.
Yes. Is that okay though?
Temporarily.
Would that be okay to you?
You have helped many people.
Yeah,
they turn to you a lot.
Yes.
Whether it's your clients, whether they're coaching, or just friends you're helping through, or relatives or whoever. I don't find it intrusive. I don't see them taking up all your time. I don't see them taking time away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not actually very demanding of your time either. Just saying.
Yeah. So here's the part is, what makes it okay? Because we do have our social network, right? The whole life as a result of our marriage does not just become just us, right?
I think there was once a long time ago when you are talking to this particular lady practically every night and for a long time. So I got a bit upset, like why is she always calling at night and why are you spending so long speaking to her? I did tell you, I did express, because I felt like it's a bit inappropriate to be talking to you at 10 p.m. and every night for a period of time. Yeah. But other than that, I don't feel it was a problem. I don't think it's a problem unless they really they go on too long and I don't know how to cut off. So, hey, I know you're feeling this way, but maybe I didn't come back to you. Okay, we meet tomorrow. Then we can still have our time when we sleep together versus I'm all night talking to this person, So it really depends, I feel, on the situation. But I've seen very needy friends who are just so needy and you're just so close to her or him, you just give in and then you neglect your other spouse because you're a good friend. Okay, next one. My husband should have something to say.
What about this mobile phone?
Mobile phone being a third thing.
Yeah, the first thing you look at is your phone in the morning. The last thing you look at is your phone before you go to sleep. It becomes a very attached thing.
So it's like you're always on your phone, then he turns away.
Well,
so I know he's not happy because I'm on my phone and not with him.
Yeah, it does take away. So is there a need of that phone to be there in the first place?
So now I learned already. I let him sleep first, then I'm going to take my phone.
So that's the thing, right? Okay, so you go to bed, so all right, she wants to go on her phone anyway, and then as a result of that, I'll give her the space. So instead of utilizing that time to spend more time together,
Yeah, I don't do that so much already.
so in the morning, instead of using that half an hour time looking at the phone, maybe go for a run.
So I go with you for walks, a long walk.
No, it's actually I go with her for the long walks.
True. But we go together. So instead of like me on my phone, we go walks together, then we chit chat.
Yeah.
So that's healthy.
So you get to sleep half an hour more. That adds on to the beauty. You can wake up half an hour earlier, so you can add on more mileage.
So bottom line is, mobile phone was our third party for a little while because he expressed his displeasure. So
But really be aware of it. How much time are actually you spending on that phone, and for what purpose?
So I still spend longer than him, but because my work requires me to be on the phone a lot.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can always trace.
I can always go a bit lower. I can control the intake.
We can always trace what exactly amount of time did you spend on doing work,
I will try to go below 4 hours. Okay, I try, okay?
Yeah.
What are your hours, people, they use on your phone per day? Yeah, I will try to go 4 and below.
Yeah, do you actually track about, well, the good thing about iPhone is that it doesn't
All
allow you to
phones,
track.
all phones.
Does now?
My
Okay, good.
Huawei also can track.
Yeah, so if that's the case, good. Just track and be aware of it. How much time you spend on it, is it absolutely necessary?
I use it for the kids to control.
Mm.
Can you check your kids, how long do you go YouTube, all this, you can check. Yeah, okay. Next, work matters.
You bring work home.
I mean it more like, when it's time to go to bed together, or maybe find some time to connect, to talk or get intimate, but instead I need to go and work, and you choose to be with your computer, you choose to go and get your work done instead. So it's like a cop-out. You don't want to connect, you just want to escape or use the work as a way of not connecting with your spouse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a red flag.
Yeah, I get if you got to rush out certain reports or you got certain thing to deal with because you work with, I don't know, someone overseas, but there's always time you can still spend with your spouse and then go and get your work done.
Yeah, that's true. So bring work home sometimes is, but nowadays we work from home, right? So that makes it a lot more difficult for us to differentiate. Because as long as we have an understanding, and then it's not really depleting the time and the energy and the attention.
It's not a daily thing, day after day, week after week, month after month. So it's fine. Last night you didn't go to bed with me because you had to attend some lessons at 1:30 a.m. And so, we were still together before then, and then you went off and do your thing.
Yeah.
So I guess it's all about the not being inflexible, but how much time you spend doing it.
Yeah.
And is there a balance? And do I start to feel left out? I think when I start to feel left out and I start to feel like I don't have the attention or affection, then I think that's the problem. And I'm not feeling connected with my other half anymore. And it becomes a habit that we're not intimate anymore. So let's go to the juiciest one. Someone who's more than a friend.
How do you define that? What do you mean is someone who's more than a friend?
Someone that I'm really, really close with. I don't let you know how close I am with him.
Oh.
But maybe we work together and we're really close, but I don't really tell you the extent. Like we eat lunches only together, day after day, week after week. We buy each other stuff. We're like much closer than ordinary friends or colleagues.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? I have some of those. We were friends. Basically, we are not blood related.
Yeah.
But do I call that person just simply a friend? I think that person is more than a friend to me. I would call that person. I would call that person a family to me. Like my relationship with, say, for example, a few of my friends whom you know. But I never hide how close we are. We are more than friends in the sense that I really treat her more like a sister to me. I would care, I would love her more than just simply I love a friend. And it's not just only applied to the female, to male, to like me and me born, for example.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think so far, most 99% of them, I'm comfortable. They have not made me feel uncomfortable.
I think that's the
There
part.
had been cases where I was uncomfortable, and I made it very clear that I'm not comfortable with you going out with her for dinners, one-on-one. Like the next time you guys want to meet, I want to be there.
Yeah, and if
was my condition.
Yeah, and if I'm okay with that, and she's okay with that,
and if she's not okay with that, I'm like, why?
Yeah, that's
why
the thing.
can't I have dinner with the both of you?
So I think here's the part, is about the disclosure, right?
Correct.
And then also the why you're not comfortable. I think it's something that you cannot see. I'm hiding it from you, that makes you uncomfortable. But if our relationship is just purely
correct, join me anytime.
Yeah, and that will be okay.
Correct. Like I have no I will not behave very much differently with him with your presence.
Yeah.
I won't behave differently, I won't react differently, and I'm totally fine with you joining us.
Yeah.
There could be conversation that we do not want you to hear because maybe you want to share with me alone. I think that's fine.
Yes.
Vice versa. But how I behave with him would remain the same.
Correct.
In your presence.
I think that's
vice
key.
versa.
I think that is key.
Correct.
So it doesn't change, right? Because I know you have a few of your male friends that you're very close with.
Correct.
I do not foresee you changing the way you behave when you're with them alone.
No.
And I'm quite comfortable with that too.
Correct. And I also make sure that I get a chance to show them to you.
Yeah.
Or you see us together. Just, that I think that's important for me to do. So before anything, you start to suspect, you can already see us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the issue is there's something that
it's more than that, and
is hidden and you do not want to. But the other part is, I think when say for example you start confronting and I start defending instead of listening to what is it that makes you uncomfortable, and then let's have the dialogue and see about it.
I'm uncomfortable because why is she calling you every day? Why is she messaging you every day? Why is she showing so much concern over you? That's my job as your wife.
Yeah.
Why is she showing you so much concern about how much coffee you drink or whatever you eat, or have you slept enough? That's not her job.
Yeah.
So I would feel threatened when someone's trying to take my job, so-called my position.
Okay, so if that's the case, if I started to defend, something's not quite right? But instead, if I say, okay, let me explain the why, and then, not explain, hear you out first, and understand where you come from, and then to address if that is absolutely necessary. Is it really pushing the boundary? If it is, then
I feel like everyone does something for a purpose. Don't talk about people with psychiatric mental issues. You do things for no reason, because you're psychotic. But all of us will do things for a purpose. So why is she messaging you? Or like, why is your ex-girlfriend messaging you? For what? What's the purpose? Just a hello, what for? No purpose. Why are you replying her? Things like that.
Yeah, it's a purpose that you didn't know. Maybe
I will find out, but I must be convinced that it's a good enough purpose.
Yeah. So I think the key important part is really having a conversation and not trying to defend
or hide.
I think the more you hide, the more you defend, the worse.
So what if I throw an ultimatum at you? I say I really don't want you to see this person. You have to stop seeing her. Stop being her friend. Stop seeing her. Stop talking to her. Then you're like, why? I consider her a good friend. I'm like, no. If you love me, you do it. If you love me, you stop talking to her and I'm more important to you.
Yeah. So would you like someone to give you an ultimatum? How does that make you feel?
But what if I did do an ultimatum?
I think that is a red flag too, right?
In our relationship?
I think in any form of relationship, when an ultimatum is put forward without actually having a dialogue of understanding, that becomes a problem. So, but after the understanding, then it's a choice that each one of us needs to make. But if you throw an ultimatum, it's a sign of power. It's either me or. I think that is not healthy.
Yeah, you're saying don't do that with me and my cycling.
Oh. No. Actually, it's interesting. I come across many as an Indonesian. So although it's a secular country, we are the biggest Muslim nation
Because
in
you've
the world,
250
right?
million of you, right?
Yeah. But anyway, the point here is that different religion becomes an issue when it comes to intermarriages, right?
But still very amazing in Indonesia, where a Catholic and a Muslim can be in the same marriage together.
Yeah, and I feel I hear a lot of my friends who say, if you love me enough, you would change the religion to marry me.
Oh, like either way,
Yeah.
Catholic or
they will make that. So
what does it got to do with anything? How does my love for you be measured with the religion that I subscribe to?
Well, that's the thing. It's nonetheless an ultimatum, making you do something that you do not want to.
Maybe I ask you because my family won't allow me to marry you unless you are also Muslim. So I don't have a choice. I love you and I want to marry you, then you need to convert.
Yeah, but then again, the message that comes out is that. So you will have to wait. That marriage quite often, as a result, turns into there's a resentment. I am doing this for you is not because I'm willingly doing this for the interest of this is my love.
So what if there is a female friend of yours which I'm really uncomfortable because she's overly too close and I really don't like it, and you really enjoy her attention and her affection?
Well, that is
and you refuse to stop the relationship because you enjoy her attention and her affection, but I don't like another woman giving you so much attention and affection.
That is a problem.
And you guys always have your own meetings and your own conversation. I'm not included.
That is a problem.
Then I will give you an ultimatum because I'll be really pissed because I really don't want this to carry on.
No, I don't think the issue then is not the ultimatum. The issue is, why am I getting this satisfaction of having the attention not from my wife, but from someone else's?
I don't know.
So the issue then is between the two of us in the first place, no longer about that third party, right?
Yeah.
So if I am enjoying something out of another person who can give that to me and you can't, there is an issue in here.
Maybe
unless you're
just
happy
with
with
you,
it could be just with me.
And I'm just like a victim of it.
Maybe.
Maybe you've got insecurity issues because you have midlife crisis.
Could be.
Then, this helps to, I don't know, boost something on your side. And I'm like,
yeah,
why is this happening?
It can possibly be happening that way. But then again, that's the beauty of being a couple, right? You could also have been going through some issue on your own.
That's true. I mean, if I'm insecure and I like other men to tell me how beautiful I am, and I get so drawn to this guy because,
he gives you what you want,
right? Which you don't give me. That also can happen.
And as a result, is there something that I need to do about it? And I need to work with you and have that conversation.
Maybe you wouldn't know. I don't want to tell you.
Again, the issue is with us, right? Correct. So don't blame onto the third party or because of the third party. There is already something fundamentally not quite right between the two of us. Yeah.
So are there any other third parties? I don't know. Anyone else out there willing to share? What else could be third parties? I think there's one that mentioned hobbies. Yeah, for a while I felt like his cycling was a third party.
Yeah, because he's not included.
Yeah, he goes away for hours and then he comes back, he gets tired, he sleeps, and the whole morning is gone. So I'm like, hey, you have to choose either Saturday or Sunday to go cycling. You can't take both days away from the family.
So that's the ultimatum she gives.
Yeah.
So
are you resentful?
Will that make me happy or not? So then
what is the negotiation? It wasn't
so that's my question is, okay, I go on at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll be back at about maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or just about 10 o'clock.
Then he can start his sleep for a couple of hours. And I meet him, I see his face at lunch.
Yeah. So if I can manage my energy, and will that work? May not work. I don't know. So here's the thing, right? It's about the resentment of a hobby. So why can't you join me for that hobby?
I don't cycle. I don't want to cycle. I've got a big butt. I can't see the tiny saddle. Oh, no.
No, there are saddles made for different type and sizes.
I've seen all the saddles. None of them can fit my butt.
But I don't think it's a saddle to fit the butt in the first place.
My butt can't fit on the saddle.
So whatever that is, right? I think this is the interesting part about hobbies. People, a lot of couples actually argue about it. So
I don't mind you going cycling. I don't let you go. I'm just saying, don't take all weekend. Don't take Saturday and Sunday. Just choose one day. No? That's all.
I think the question behind is why, and
Because
what is good
I
for.
told him because yeah.
You're talking all about you, right? And you dominate the whole conversation and don't even allow me to go and speak.
Okay, speak, go.
So here's the part. I grew up. My father is a very keen golfer. So he plays golf, sometimes 2 rounds in a day. And people say to my mother, "Oh, you suddenly become a golf widow."
Yeah, I was a cycling widow.
Yeah. And so my mother, interesting enough, she said, "No, I never." Then I said, "You should go and join your husband to go and play golf." And my mother said, "No, it's not really my cup of tea." So he can go and have his tea time and really enjoy. And I know exactly where he is. I know during that time, he can be himself and he can be worry-free. And so he can come home and be 100% mine and be 100% with the family. And it's not a bad hobby.
No, it's not.
It's
It's
not like
not a bad
gambling.
hobby.
So,
Just not Saturday and Sunday.
So but there are some people who get involved into a hobby because they want to get away from.
Oh yeah. Like what?
I don't know. They want to be away. I would rather be in the golf course, hang out with my mates, rather than I'm being home facing a nagging wife.
Then the wife was like, "Okay, I'll go and learn golf, and so I'll go with you." Then they change hobby.
Yeah. So that happens. And so the question here is, what is the motivation behind everything, right?
Correct.
The reason. I enjoy my cycling and I try to go out and I want to keep myself fit. It also gives me an opportunity to feel A, mobile, B, I get a chance to go and actually roam around the country free. I get to see a lot more of Singapore than she does. She's a Singaporean, right?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's true. But I come home and I feel energetic, I feel good, I feel fit.
Yes.
And so good.
There you go.
And I would love you to join one day. Hopefully, that's so that we can not just simply roam around Singapore, so we have a chance to go and see other country, other places, rather than simply putting your butt on the chair.
No, I can do a lot of things. I can go walking. I can go try to do running. I can go dancing. There's a lot of things I can do too.
So I look forward. I can look forward to that.
Cycling. I don't enjoy cycling.
Nobody did.
You do.
I didn't until I actually learned how to ride a bicycle.
And I told him why I don't want to go with him, because I don't want to be away from the family.
Yep, that also makes sense. So now
I want us to be together. If you're going to go cycling, then you go. I want to be home with our kids.
Yeah.
If not, then both of us are just busy cycling, and our young kids are just looking at each other. I don't see mommy and daddy Mondays to Fridays very much, especially me, Mondays to Fridays. Saturday out cycling, Sunday out cycling, then there's nothing with them.
We've always been in this argument. And even though if I get a tandem bike, we can put everyone in the family together.
Please now, can cycle like that? It's so dangerous. Okay, anyway.
So cycling is dangerous.
No, a tandem of so many is dangerous.
That's what she said.
No. We'll not do such things. On the road is very scary.
That who makes you think that we are cycling on the road?
Okay, it doesn't matter. I don't want to cycle.
Okay, so anyway.
Let's talk about the interesting kind of third parties. The one that you choose to have. What we call a throuple. Have you heard of throuple? Not a couple, but a throuple.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Actually, I have read a few stories.
Okay. You watch Netflix also, there's a show called You, Me, Her.
Yeah.
That's about a throuple or so.
So it's a consensual relationship.
Correct. It's
between
not an
the
open
three parties.
relationship. We talked about monogamous and non-monogamous marriages before. We talked about having open relationships before, but this is not about an open relationship. A throuple is between 3 people. It's consensual. All 3 want it, and all 3 are committed with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did that work out?
So a throuple can be any kind of variations. Okay, 3 ladies, 3 guys. 2 guys, 1 gal, 2 gals, 1 guy. Okay, as long as 3. Consensual, huh? Okay.
So how is that working out?
So they are good. I mean, everything has pros and cons. Do you believe that everything in life has pros and cons? Even COVID-19 has its pros and cons.
Okay.
Yeah, everything I feel in life, if you look at it objectively, everything has 2 sides.
So in a society, how would people actually look into a throuple?
I think it's not something that is well accepted. But if I have friends who are trouble, I'm totally fine.
Okay.
Like I will have friends, if I have friends who are trouble and they want to come have dinner, I will invite them to my house for dinner. I have no problems with that. Or
Yeah.
go out and hang out together and the three of them are together, I'm fine. I will not like, I'm not gonna hang out with them, they are wrong to hang out with. No, I'm totally fine.
Yeah, to
You?
me, as far as the dynamic is concerned, I see no difference between a couple or a throuple or a fourth, what do you call it, four people. As long as all parties are there happy. And the reason why they are there together is because they do love each other. And with this dynamic, is not I'm using a third party or a second party to fill my hole.
Yes. That's why if you read about throuple, they do advise that the primary relationship is actually quite strong. And then this third party comes in, or and yeah, so we had a conversation while watching this program. Will we ever consider being a throuple?
When will we consider?
Will we ever consider like the program to have three of us versus just two? We had a conversation about that.
Yeah.
So I thought this would be a good, interesting topic to discuss since we did talk about it when we watched that program, You, Me, Her.
Oh, okay.
So Sandra was saying that golf is different. Our partner can see us in the green, while cycling is difficult to locate. No, he gives me his Strava and then I can locate him. So I'm forced to see where he is. Go watch me, where am I? Like,
yes, there's such thing nowadays called GPS. But anyway,
coming back to throuple. Yes. So we did discuss about the possibility of us ever being in a throuple. Then I say first and foremost, I'm not a bi. It's very difficult. Another woman comes in, but you never know.
What are the men?
Yeah. Are you okay?
No, here's not about okay or not okay. I think if we happen to, I will not initiate or purposely go and look
and search for one, right?
But if it happened along the journey, suddenly both of us fall in love with another person.
I say that's like bigger than striking lottery, like the both of us would like the same person.
And wanting that person.
And the same person also likes the both of us equally or somewhat.
Yes, and wanting to have a marital relationship.
Yeah, sexual and intimate, committed relationship. I mean, it's beyond striking lottery,
Why would you think it's a lottery?
No, it's like, it's so hard to strike lottery. I think it's harder to find someone whom we both will like as much and he or she will like us as much and want to be in a consensual, committed relationship together. I just find that incredibly, like it's better than striking lottery. It's that difficult, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I say if that happens, then maybe.
Yeah, so it's not we purposely go and look for it, we just happen to meet.
Yeah.
I also find it's not really, well, if that's the case, then me meeting you is a lottery.
Oh, really? Well, it is.
Yeah, what are the chances of that you actually meet someone whom you feel,
Correct. That's how I felt when I first met you.
Yeah, this is the person I can spend the rest of my life with.
I didn't think that, but I was more like, I like him, like that.
Okay. Yeah, so I think fundamentally is I need to be whole and then meet.
The both of us have to be okay.
And then if we happen to meet a third person, and then
we are like, wow.
It always going to make all the three of us to be the better version of ourselves.
I'm open to it then. But I just find it incredibly difficult, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yes, maybe 10 years later, ask me again.
It's a different dynamic, so yeah.
But there's also good that comes from it. I mean, there's some pros with having three of us. Okay. So for example, maybe if there's three of us involved, both of us will experience intimacy and our relationship differently because another third party comes in. So maybe we expose ourselves to different qualities and he or she brings something else that we do not already have. So that's new experiences, be it sexually or just in a relationship. It's like a new adventure because you have another person involved. Yeah. Sometimes he or she one of us could be a buffer or mediator when two of us have conflict.
Yes, that's true.
Could also be because the person also involved in making things harmonious. And for this is, I feel it's also makes sense because then maybe sexually or even raising kids is easier. Because there's three, all three be bringing in income, which then makes the family unit financially stronger. Or two of us could bring in income and he or she could be caring for the kids. And, because not all countries are so lucky to have domestic helpers like Singapore or Indonesia, for example, where you could have a live-in help. A lot of countries don't. So being in a throuple makes sense because we're all co-parents. So the kids grow up with three loving parents, where one could always be the one taking care, and two of us could go out and all take turns to have time for ourselves or with each other. So this all seems quite feasible. And I saw this happening with that movie that we saw with the guy who created Wonder Woman, the professor, that psychologist or something.
Yes.
He and his wife met one of the students and they all fell in love and they all got together and they became a throuple. They had kids together. Both women had kids with him. And they lived for the rest of their life together like this. Husband and wife are still teaching and earning a decent living.
Yeah, they're the one who come up with the first disc profile and also the
correct.
The lie detector.
Lie detector was from them. He drew and created Wonder Woman. Yeah. That's his life story, and there was a movie about it. I found that really interesting. It opened my eyes because three of them are really in love, and they were very active sexually together, and they both have kids. They all had kids together. They raised the family like that.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, they're very happy. So they're all very consensual and they're really happy together.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Yeah, and quite often, what sadly is people tend to
they will judge
make
and
the judgment because it's against the norm.
Yeah, very much against the norm.
Yeah. So what it is?
I don't care.
Are they hurting anyone? I don't feel that.
No.
But they are creating and doing this all out of love.
Correct.
Yeah, and they do good.
I've got no issues with like having family or having friends or like them coming to my house and having my kids see them. I'm fine. I just have to teach my kids that it's possible to love like that too. So I remember telling my girls, when you grow up, what I want for you is to find someone who loves you, really truly loves you, whether it's he or her, him or she, him or her. Yeah. She's like, what? What do you mean by her? I'm just saying, I don't want you to feel like it always has to be a he. If you happen to be a her, and it's fine. I'm fine. If you are fine, I'm fine. As long as she loves you or he loves you and takes good care of you, I'm fine. And
more importantly, she has to also love that person.
Yeah, I don't want her to feel that just because society makes it that she has to go with a he, that she, so it's fine. Either way, it's fine. I always let her either way, it's fine. So she won't ever feel that if she ever wants to go, she wants to love another woman, it's fine.
And it also can be a them, right?
Yeah, there's opportunity to talk like that. Why not?
Okay, that's good.
So, but there are some issues that come with throuple, like we say society doesn't really deem them as natural, and they be ostracized from family and ostracized from friends, ostracized from church, community, etc. And because there's a tree, sometimes trees a crowd. It could be jealousy. There could be some conflicts where people take sides, like I side with you and against him or her. It can be really complex. And communications, oh my God, between the couple, sometimes we already have communication breakdowns from time to time. Imagine with three, could be much worse.
I don't see any more difference than a couple anyway.
It's just more complex, isn't it?
I don't see any more complex or more complicated. I think it's the same.
I think it's more.
You saying?
I think it's more. I think it's more of everything. It's more intense. There could be more intense sexual experiences. There could be more intense fights. There's going to be more intense conflicts and miscommunication. Everything will be just intensified.
I don't think so. I think it's just a matter of managing the dynamic. Be it a couple.
More to manage.
Maybe I don't feel that way. So, like a family, for example, with children.
The more children, more to manage.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same concept. One child easier than having 2-3 children.
I think it's a different dynamic in a way. When you have a one child, then all the attention is on that child. Correct. And as a result, the issue that comes out from that overly focus of attention on that specific child will come out with that issues. If you have 3 children, then the issue
reflected, I feel.
You think? I don't think so.
I think
it's only if you choose to.
True.
If you have two, also one can get neglected.
Mm.
You'd have more favor to one and the other feel more favor to the other. So it's just a different dynamic. It doesn't make it any more complicated or complex. It's just different. So that's how I see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced it. I'm just imagining it. Yeah.
True.
If we ever experience it, we'll let you know. We bring her or him along. Dharma Discussions as a trouble. That's so fun, though.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. What other things that we need to talk about?
But that's all I have, actually.
Oh.
Mm.
All right. Any more inputs apart from Sandra talking about the golf course thing?
No. Everyone's very quiet again.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Sandra, for that comment. This Sandra. Oh, young. Well, I've known her for many years.
She's one of your old friends?
Yeah.
More than friend type?
No.
We say it's not a girlfriend, more than friends, very close like sisters. Though I haven't met a lot of them.
Yes, I have quite a few of them, actually.
Yeah.
Not only just simply girls, but boys too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm. Maybe we can discuss more about next week's topic, which I'm quite excited about as well.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about next week?
Next week, I thought it would be interesting to talk about this. How marriages evolve as we age. Yeah. Because reason being next week's my birthday. So I thought this would be quite an apt topic to discuss. I still think back, like now I'm really going to reach 40s. So next week I'll be 41. So I'm in my 40s. And how I was in my 30s, and now that I'm going into my 40s. And you are in your 50s. And I'm sure from a male point of view, at every stage, as you grew, when you were younger and as you grew older, physical changes happen. It's inevitable because we age. And as we age physically, and maybe as we grow older, we become emotionally more mature, there are changes within us that we can't help. And I feel that because of all these changes that we go through, that it will affect the marriage.
I'm sure it will. So it'll be interesting for us to go and explore and talk
men
about
with their midlife crisis, women and their menopause, etc.
Yeah.
Things like that. I think all these would definitely play a part in how we evolve physically, emotionally, mentally, and therefore affecting the marriage. So I thought it would be a really interesting topic to talk about how marriages evolve as we grow older. And I picked only these 3 decades to talk about because it's not so distant. 30s and 40s, and he's in his 50s.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so that's our
So until then,
Saturday.
All right. So on that note, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much again.
I'll see you all next week, same time at 9
Saturday,
o'clock
yes.
Singapore time.
Next Saturday is the 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Till then, have a great weekend. Goodbye.
Bye.